Good evening and welcome to my kitchen, to tonight's episode of Cooking with Tamara. That's me. Tonight we are having spaghetti. My family will be having noodles and I will be having zoodles. Now I'm making my own zoodles. Some of you can purchase them frozen, but I had the picker at Walmart pick my zucchini and I ended up with these. What are you gonna do with these? I'm gonna make zoodles. I do not like my zucchini this big, this grown, mature. And so when I do, if I do get zucchini that big, I end up making noodles. Now we're gonna have spaghetti. I'm gonna use my zoodles. And then I'm also going to make, for the first time ever, MudHustler's BirdBall recipe. So stay tuned for that. But I have my KitchenAid mixer off camera here, right? You can't really see the mixer, but the spiralizer slicer attachment is here. I purchased this about a year ago on Amazon. No, I purchased it from KitchenAid directly. It was on sale, and I think I got it for like 50 bucks, I think, because I knew I would use it a lot. 2 times. So we're using it tonight. This is the second time. I had to kind of read the instructions. So I added the attachment. This is the spiralizer. Honey, can you just see if we can. Okay, so this is the front of the KitchenAid. Oh, I could just move the KitchenAid. Well,
Let me put this back.
real professional here. So I have my KitchenAid mixer. I'm actually going to use this for both portions of this recipe. I'm going to make my meatballs, my poultry balls, bird balls, in the mixer part. So I attach this to the front of the KitchenAid, and then it comes with 4 different blades. One will be a slicer, so you could do your apples. You could core and slice them. I chose the medium spiralizer blade. There's a little tiny squiggly on there. I don't know if you can see it. I'll go in like this. It just sets and snaps right into here. There's a little lever that will allow me to adjust for the length of the fruit that I'm spiralizing. So, like this. What I did is I'm going to cut the ends off of my zucchini. I think that's how you do it. Like I said, it's only my second time. And I think that this might be too long to fit into here, so I'm just going to cut it into smaller pieces. You attach it here onto this peg, that's what we're gonna call it, and then you take the spiralizer and you squish it into your zucchini. And we turn it on. And we hope it works, because that would be embarrassing if it didn't. It's not plugged in. Okay, so technical difficulties. Let's see how it works. As you see, it is rotating the zucchini, and as it's doing that, it is slicing it into these beautiful zoodles. So what do you do with the zoodles? Well, I'm gonna add mine into a saute pan, and I'm just going to slightly warm them with a little bit of olive oil or spray oil and a splash of garlic powder. So, we missed the bowl. So I'm gonna do a few zucchini, because then I'll have some left over for another day. So I'll be back to show you in a minute how I make the poultry balls. So I'm actually back because I wanted to show you that this is the core of the zucchini that is left over. When it's done and complete, you just slide this out and you pull the zucchini off of the peg, and then you attach another one. And so if you have a KitchenAid or a stand mixer at home, some of you might have a spiralizer you love. I like my KitchenAid. It's a tool I had, and so I just bought the attachment to go with it. So we're gonna do another round. I'm gonna finish up these 2 zucchinis, and then we'll be back and I will show you how we put together the meatballs. Okay, so I now have a bowl full of zoodles. Really quick work. It only took a couple minutes with minimal waste. So we're gonna move on now to putting together the poultry balls, bird balls. The recipe I'm following is from MudHustler, and he used a extra lean ground turkey and chicken breast. So the balls end up being 1 smart point apiece. I have a package of Jenny O extra lean, and then I was able to get ground chicken breast this week from the store. So I was a winner there. I don't know about you, but I do not like touching raw meat. So we are going to use my knife, real professional again, and we're just gonna flip out the meat into the bowl. Don't want to lose any of it. Oh, whoa, disaster on the stove. We'll let Kevin handle that. He is boiling the water for the pasta that he and Charlotte are gonna have. So I don't typically make 2 dinners for my family, but I will adapt what I'm making for my family to fit my personal needs, nutrition needs. So, and then here goes the chicken. So it is I do 2 packages. I don't know, I think it ends up being, I think he said 20 ounces and 16 ounces, but I think it's really, this is 2 pounds of each, or 1 pound of each equaling 2 pounds. So I've got my raw meat, I won't show you. And then his recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. So I had some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, so we'll toss that in. He also called for 1/2 cup of Romano cheese in the recipe. I don't have Romano, so we're gonna do Parmesan because I don't really know the difference. So 1/2 cup. I really should weigh this, but I'm not that concerned because we're gonna break it up over a number of servings. So I think that's okay. Then the recipe didn't call for any specific seasonings, so I'm not gonna add any Italian seasonings because of the breadcrumbs, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little shake of garlic powder. Kevin's face says that wasn't little. We'll do less of a shake of onion powder and some salt and pepper. Oh, good thing that lid didn't fall off. It would have been very oniony. Not MasterChef material here, but definitely not the world's worst cook either. Okay, and then because I didn't touch the chicken at all with my hands, I feel very comfortable putting them in my salt. I always wonder if I see people touching raw meat in these videos, if they paused it and came back and washed their hands. Does anybody else wonder that? Okay, so there we go. We've got all our ingredients in here. I'm gonna go ahead and utilize my KitchenAid to do the mixing because I don't like to touch it. I do, like I'll get in there, but I'm definitely no Julia Child. Okay, so we're gonna just mix this up in the stand mixer, and we'll be right back. 2 eggs, add 2 eggs, and then mix. All right, so I am done with the mixing. Now these meatballs are cooked in a muffin tin. So I am going to use my ice cream scooper to form this into 12 meatballs, and we are going to cook it. It might make a couple extra, so we'll see about that. Now, if you had asked me 4 years ago, before I lost 193 pounds, if I ever thought I would use my ice cream scoop to make meatballs, I don't think I would have said yes. Anyway, I actually use it more for forming meat than I do for scooping ice cream. Okay, so I'm just gonna, there you go, look at that. So I'm just gonna fill my muffin tin with my meatball mixture. Again, most of the ingredients, other than the, I mean, it's your lean proteins and your breadcrumbs and the cheese. The cheese, that's what gives it the points. But you're dividing 1/2 cup into 12, which is what turns these into, I hope I didn't have to spray these. He doesn't say to. This should be fine. That's what turns these into such a low smart point option. Now I will put this in the recipe builder to see if they equal WW math, which would be 1 plus 1 equals 3. So we will find that out, but I think we're probably good. And I have some meat left over, so I think what I'll do is I'll cook these and we'll have these for dinner, and I will just cook these later. So what I'm going to do to merge this into dinner is I'm going to saute my zoodles. We're going to boil some pasta. I am going to use a pre-made marinara sauce. This particular sauce I find at Aldi. I've shared this with you guys before. All of the ingredients are 0 smart point ingredients. So if you're making your own marinara sauce or you're counting points for marinara sauce, as long as it doesn't have oil or sugar added to it, all the ingredients are 0 smart points. If you scanned this jar, it's 2 smart points per serving for a half a cup. That is because it is just going off the nutritional information. It doesn't realize that nutritional information is provided to you by the source of tomato. Source. The nutritional source is tomatoes. In this, it's tomato puree, onions, salt, garlic, spices. That's it. Citric acid, I guess. What does that do? Keep your flavor? Keep your color? Keep your color. I think I'm gonna go with that. I was waiting for some confirmation off screen and I didn't get it. So citric acid is to help keep your color. Yes?
Stops the oxidation.
Stops the oxidation. Now that sounded smarter. Okay, so this Aldi brand, Simply Nature marinara sauce. I'm gonna use this tonight over our zoodle meatballs. So, that's it. Dinner's easy. Thanks for joining me for this edition of Cooking in the Kitchen with Tamara. Have a good night. You probably want to know what temperature to cook them on and for how long. Yeah. So I preheated my oven at 400 degrees and I'm going to bake the meatballs in the muffin tin for 20 minutes. Easy. So while those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and saute my noodles and, cook my noodles and saute my zoodles.